Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. And as you can tell by the title, I'm trying to help some of y'all out here. So I've been in the IDPA competitive world since February of 2025, and I know a few things. So I want to share with you some of the things that I know as far as those of you who are trying to get your feet wet and get into IDPA, specifically competitive shooting. This video is for you. I know there's a lot of you out there that's like, Summer, you're the reason why I'm even stepping out here trying to get into IDPA or either some type of competitive shooting, but I'm nervous. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to expect. So this video is for you. So this is specifically driven to IDPA. Some of the things that I will say here can spill over to something like USPSA and other competitive divisions or organizations, but I'm only going to speak on IDPA. So first and foremost, what to expect. The first thing you need to expect is nerves. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be like, oh, I can't do this. As soon as you get there, you're going to start freaking out, basically. You're going to think you can't do it. You're going to think, why did I sign up for this? You're going to have all those nerves, and that's fair to have. Everybody's going to have it. Because it's something you've never done before, and we're talking about firearms, we're talking about safety, so you don't know if you're going to do it right, you don't even know if you're going to run it right, like all of that. So first thing you're going to have is nerves, or to expect is nerves. The second thing you can expect is when you get there, there will probably be an opportunity for you to talk with people, be embraced by people. Now the rule is you can't really walk the stages, and that means if there's 6 stages set up for you to shoot that day, there was a time where we were able to go to each of the 6 stages and kind of visualize how we would shoot that stage. But now there's a rule that you cannot pre-walk the stages. So we used to be able to do that. You could expect to see that, but probably not anymore. But you will get some people coming up to you, very kind people, asking, are you new? How are you? Like any type of question. And I would honestly say spark a conversation with them. Ask the questions, because they love when you ask questions. They love when you engage with the sport and try to draw interest from them, because usually those people have been there doing it for years. So they love when newcomers come. They love to embrace you. And it's just, I would just say expect a community, a very welcoming, friendly community. And honestly, I'll say that I could probably say that anywhere you go. It just doesn't have to be at one specific, group or state or city or organization. I feel like they all are super welcoming. And the reason I say that is because when I was shooting IDPA, that's the feeling I got. When I went over to shoot USPSA, I got the same feeling with different people. So I feel like it's probably the same across the board. You probably will get 1 or 2 organizations or squads or groups that are just going to be terrible, rude, all that. But for the most part, you're going to get expect a welcoming environment to the sport, especially if you're new. The third thing I would say to expect is a safety briefing. So that means anybody who's new to the sport, an experienced RO or SO will gather all the newcomers. Anybody who's first time shooting or maybe haven't shot in a while, they'll gather you and they'll go over all the rules, all the regulations. So the nerves that you had in the beginning when you first got to the range or to the location that you're going to shoot, they will kind of probably subside just a little bit, because this range officer is going to go, or safety officer is going to go over all the safety protocols to be on the lookout for. And like I said in a previous video, make sure if you can to just go and take an IDPA class, like an introduction to IDPA. It's kind of like, I think my class was probably 2 hours, and the first hour was just getting us acquainted with how the division works, what to expect, what you need, what you don't need, what to worry about, safety. And then the next hour was we went out and actually shot as though we were at a stage or at a competition. So if you can take an IDPA class, an intro to IDPA class, that will be beneficial, because what the safety officer is going to go over with you is going to be the same stuff that you learned in the class, so it'll kind of be a refresher. And like I said, the nerves will kind of settle just a little bit. I wouldn't say a lot, but a little bit. You'll feel like, okay, I remember hearing that. I remember we did that. And so you'll start to feel like, okay, I could probably do this. So after the safety briefing is over, the next thing to expect is a shooter's meeting. So everybody gathers around, everybody listens to, usually it's the I don't want to say the match director is always the one that leads the shooters meeting, but sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But whoever's in charge at the time will lead the shooters meeting. Basically, they'll just go over things to expect for the day. If there are points of emphasis on any type of stage, they'll let you know, hey, stage 3 has poppers. It has one disappearing target. Please be able to reset the target at this point. Like, just little ins and outs to be aware of. They might go over some upcoming events coming up. And they will also, from my experience, they will also say, hey, we have 5 new shooters today. And then the new shooters will just raise their hands so everybody knows who the new shooters are. And especially if they're in your squad, for you as a more experienced shooter to be on the lookout for them. Be kind. Answer any questions they have. Just know that they're new shooters, and if you see something they're doing that they probably shouldn't be doing, just, they're new, so go over and express to them and let them know, hey, this is how it's supposed to be done, in a nice way so that they know. And then after that, we go over safety measures, what to do in the event of emergency. And then basically we just break out and we go shoot. The way that my local shooting matches work is we normally shoot 6 stages. So if you shoot 6 stages, that means there's 6 squads. And so you would break out into the squad that you are assigned to. Now, I'll back up a little bit and say when you first got to the range or to the place where you was going to shoot, you would have to check in. And so you go into wherever the check-in spot is, you say, my name is such and such, you pay your money, and they'll tell you which squad you're on. And so that's how you'll know what squad you're on. After the shooters meeting, you'll break out and you go to your squad. I'd say the next thing to expect after breaking out of your squad would be a roll call. So once you get to your squad, somebody who has a tablet that has everybody's name on it will do a roll call, making sure everybody's there. You would want to make sure if somebody in your squad didn't quite hear in the shooters meeting, you'd want to make sure that you let them know that you are a first-time shooter and that you would like to be put at the bottom of the list. And the reason why you want to be put at the bottom is so that you can see everybody else go before you, so that you can kind of see how things work. And you don't want to be first, because if it's your first time shooting, you absolutely don't know what to do. So unless you took a class or unless you've come and watched, but for the most part, first time shooters don't go first, and they don't go second, and they don't go third. They usually go last every stage. And so after that, you can expect everybody in front of you to shoot the stage. And so I would say in this moment, this is where you want to pay attention. This is not a time to be on your phone. This is not a time to just sit and kind of zone out. This is not a time to go look at other squads shoot. This is a time for you to actually watch the people who shoot in front of you, because more than likely they've been doing it for a while. And so you want to kind of glean from them and get an idea of what you're supposed to be doing. You want to see how they run the stage. You want to see how they reload it. You want to see how they handle their gun. You want to see the command calls and what the other squad mates were doing while they were shooting. You just want to pay attention to everything. Again, it's not a time to be distracted, because again, we want to focus on safety. Safety is the very first and most important thing when we're doing competitive shooting. And so you don't want to be distracted. You actually want to pay attention. Now, once you start shooting and get experience, there's going to be times where, you're probably like 5th to shoot. And so you'll get on your phone and check something or whatever. Like, by that time, you're a little bit more experienced. But if you're a newcomer, I recommend that you just stay focused and don't get distracted. The next thing I would say to expect is when it's your time to shoot, you're going to be super nervous and all eyes are going to be on you. And the reason why is because you're the new shooter. So not only will the range officer and the safety officer be watching you like a hawk, everybody in your squad is going to watch you like a hawk, because they want to make sure you do everything correct. And one of the biggest things that happens to newcomers when they first start competitively shooting is disqualifications. And disqualifications can come in various ways. I know if y'all have been following me for a while now, on my very first ever IDPA match, I got disqualified. I got disqualified on the 4th stage. And the reason why I got disqualified is because I broke the 180 rule. And the 180 rule is when you're shooting, if you extend your arms out by your side, your gun basically cannot go behind this arm and it can't go behind this arm. It can only go in front of you. And so if you take your gun, if this is my 180 and I take my gun and I happen to sweep it that way, I now have broken my 180, which means I'm probably pointing my gun at my squad mates. And that's a big no-no. And basically they'll yell stop. They'll tell you unload your firearm, holster it, and then they say bye-bye. And they say bye-bye because you can't finish the day. You can't finish shooting for the day. You're disqualified. So when you're disqualified, you're done. So it doesn't matter if you got disqualified on the first stage or the last stage, you're done for the day. And usually they say you go home, but a good sport doesn't go home. A good sport sits around and, keeps helping to tape and just watching other people in support. But I would say if it was a major match, I'd go home because you can't stay there all day for a major match. But a local match, yeah. So I would say expect the eyes to be on you, and rightfully so. We want to make sure you're safe and all that kind of stuff. The other thing I would say you need to expect is to go slow. Most of the time, newcomers will come in and they will run the stages very slow, very diligently, rightfully so. If it's your first time, we don't care how slow you run it. We just care that you run it safely. And so most of the time, I know I didn't run mine slow. I didn't run it as slow as other newcomers because I had been shooting for a while. So I didn't run it as slow as, most newcomers come on. But I did have a little pep to my step. But now that I'm in it and I see other newcomers come, they're actually walking usually because they just want to make sure, okay, did I get that target right? Did I shoot what I was supposed to shoot on this side before I go over there? And it takes time. It takes time for you to kind of catch up to what you saw previously before you started shooting. And so that's expected. You're expected to go slow. You're expected to take your time. You're not going to win. As a first-time shooter, especially if you've never done it before, you don't worry about winning. You don't worry about did you go fast. You don't worry about did you shoot all alphas. You don't worry about any of that. You just get your feet wet and see if this is something you like and something you can do. That's pretty much it. The next thing you could probably expect is when you're not shooting, you should be taping. And that means when a person finishes shooting the stage and the range officer yells, range is clear, then you should have tapers or pasters in your hand for when the range officer comes by and scores the target, you can cover up the holes for the next shooter to be able to shoot clean targets. So expect that. Expect to work a little bit. It's not something you can go to and just shoot and then do nothing. You do have to help out just a little bit. It's nothing strenuous, no hard work like that. It's just everybody helping to move things along quick. That's about it. I think that's all you could expect going to your first IDPA match. Once the match is over, the way you signed up for the match is the way that you go in and see how you did. And it's always fulfilling, especially if it's something you're challenging yourself to do. It's always a good feeling to go back and look at your scores, look at your time, look at your hits, all that good stuff, just so that you're able to be better than you were this time on the next time. So I think that's all. That's all to expect, really. And one more other thing that I think you should do is before you go shoot your first match, go watch a match first. Shout out to Chad. This last competition that I ran, I think it was Wednesday. The video that came out on Wednesday, I was in the indoor range for the second local match, and a guy came up to me, Chad, and said, "Are you Summer Shoots?" And I said, "Yeah." So we shook hands, and he goes, "You're the reason why I am even doing this." And I was like, "Are you shooting today?" And he said, "No, I just came to watch." So I was telling him it's the best thing to do. He had already taken the intro to IDPA class, and then he decided he wanted to come that night and just watch us shoot. And I mean, you don't have to stay the whole time. You can stay the whole time if you want to, but Chad got his feet wet a little bit more by coming to watch and see what he was actually going to get into. And so I said all that to say, if you can, go to a local match and watch before you actually shoot. You don't have to pay anything. You can just show up and let them know, I'm a spectator. I just want to watch. Just make sure you have your ear pro, your eye pro. Don't bring your gun, because most of the time the ranges are code ranges, meaning you cannot have a loaded gun on you. You can only have your unloaded gun with your mags on the other side. So don't bring no gun, but just go watch and you will see everything that I just said, because you might even feel the nerves just watching. And so if you can kind of get some of those nerves out of you by just watching before your first comp, then you might be okay. So y'all let me know down in the comment section if y'all have any questions. I'll try my best to answer them the best I know how, but that's kind of what to expect when you're shooting your first IDPA match. And it's not the end of the world if you get disqualified on your first match or your third match or your fifth match. At some point, everybody gets disqualified from what I hear. Now, I do understand that there's somebody out there who's been shooting competitively who's never gotten disqualified, but for the most part, it's going to happen to almost all of us. So y'all let me know down in the comment section, what are your questions? If there's anything that I missed, feel free to put it down in the comment section from your experience, some things to expect, because I'm sure I missed some things, but I'm really just trying to go off of what I remember most recently. So until next time, stay armed, stay safe, and stay vigilant. Peace.